How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Zach Hicks, your resident film nerd of horseshoehuddle.com, and of course, your favorite co-host over at the Locked On Colts podcast. We are back with yet another video on the Colts offense, quite frankly, because the Colts offense was really fun this past week. I would look at the Colts defense, but I didn't have a lot of fun watching the Colts defense against the Arizona Cardinals. So I want to bring some fun this week, diving into how the offense was able to find success against the Cardinals. And we're going to dive into a couple of my favorite play calls from Shane Steichen, throws from Daniel Jones, and biggest plays through the passing game. We actually have one running play in here as well, but I really just want to break it down from this angle too. But a lot of my favorite moments from this Colts game with the Colts offense and how they're able to find success against a very aggressive, competitive, talented Cardinals defense. I think the Colts did a lot of really, really good things. And we're going to kick it off by talking about how they performed on the first drive of the game. The first drive that featured rookie phenom Tyler Warren just marching up and down the field here against the Cardinals defense for the opening score. And this big play to Tyler Warren, this near 30-yard gain on the first drive, was a big kudos to the play calling. The play calling is what sets this up. It's what gets Tyler Warren super free up the sideline here. And a big part of this is the motion here from Jonathan Taylor. Getting Jonathan Taylor here in the flat is what pulls this defender tight, keeps them shallow, and keeps that defender out of this throwing window where the ball ultimately goes to Tyler Warren up the sideline. So this underneath motion from Jonathan Taylor holds that defender, and then to hold this linebacker there, we're going to get this skinny post from Alec Pierce, which does a little bit of rub action on this linebacker and holds him a little bit more inside because he feels like he has to get depth on that post to help out the safety, which opens up this big-time window to the outside here. So let me get my drawings off here, and we'll go through the play a little bit more in detail as the play unfolds. But again, we're going to get that motion from Jonathan Taylor, pulls this linebacker into the flat, and when that linebacker is pulled into the flat right here, he's in no position to cover that window deep. And because this linebacker feels Alec Pierce coming over the middle, he bumps into Alec Pierce even, which kind of holds him in that spot. It opens up all the window the Colts need to get him out here. We're getting that gravity from Alec Pierce. We're getting the safety on him. Linebacker here, this guy's carrying. That gravity from Alec Pierce creates the window to Tyler Warren up the sideline. And Tyler Warren's able to turn this into a huge gain for the Colts offense. But this is all play calling here. This is all just knowing what the Cardinals want to do and understanding how to exploit them by setting up, again, the gravity of Alec Pierce to the middle, pulling this flat defender up with Jonathan Taylor. That's the whole reason this play is able to be so wide open, and you get the big-time coverage bust from the Cardinals defense. And then we're going to go into the touchdown from Tyler Warren on the same drive, and a lot of people said that this was more of a coverage bust than play calling, but I think this is just a great example of how to get your guys in the right leverage and the right opening to be set up for success. So Tyler Warren is here on the end of the line of scrimmage, so he's going to get the outside cornerback in man coverage or in match coverage on that outside. So this cornerback is staying on Tyler Warren because he's the outermost threat here. And the way the Colts are able to create leverage against an outside corner, because typically this is not the matchup you want. You don't want your tight end against one of the better cover guys on defense. So the way they're able to create the matchup they need for Tyler Warren are in two aspects. One is we're going to feign him blocking. So we're going to just bluff that he's going to be staying in to block. This keeps the corner outside and keeps him at the depth that you want him. And then we're going to do a switch release. So a switch release is where he goes inside while he goes vertical or out. And because ALIE-COX is going more vertical here, it makes this corner have to fight through that mesh traffic, fight through all the rubble that's over here to get to Tyler Warren, who's running free on this delayed drag. And because of those two elements, because we get the bluff in the block, and then we get the switch release drag, those two elements make this corner have to fight through that mesh from his off coverage standpoint here, and he's unable to get to where he needs to be to contest this throw, and it ends up being just a walk-in touchdown for Tyler Warren. So we're going to play the clip here, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But Tyler Warren, again, we're bluffing the blitz, keeps this corner at the depth that we want him at. And once that corner's at that depth, we delay into the drag. And once we get into that drag, he has to run through the mesh here that ALIE-COX is creating. He actually bumps into him here, and that creates all the leveraging, all the space we need. And then it's just what we call a run away from him route at that point. Once you have the leverage, once you have the space, run away from the defender, make yourself available for the quarterback, and he's able to get into the end zone with ease on this play. Fantastic play calling for what the Cardinals were wanting to do here. It's exactly what you want to see from your offensive play caller, and that's why this was such an easy score for the Colts. It wasn't just a coverage bust here. That was just great play calling to take advantage of a defense and create that opportunity for Tyler Warren. Now, this next one is just a great throw and just great knowledge from the offense and the quarterback here. So the Colts are going to be in a bit of max protection. They love their 6-7 man protection looks where they can really just isolate these wide receivers, these very talented wide receivers, against whichever secondary they're going against. And what the Colts are going to do here is one of their trademark calls. They're going to do an out and up from Josh Downs in the slot, and they're going to match that with a skinny post from Alec Pierce. So you get a little bit of scissor action there between the two wide receivers. And if this were like a quarters coverage call, this is the perfect way to exploit it and attack it. It just really stresses this outside corner. It stresses this safety. And it gets your offense in really good opportunities. But what the Cardinals are doing here is actually more of a cover 2 zone. And this corner is going to be pressing Alec Pierce. So we're going to get more of a cover 2 zone. And it throws off the landmark a little bit of Alec Pierce. But Daniel Jones and Pierce do a really good job of reacting to that. So when we run the clip a little bit here, so again, the Colts are running that out and up. They're running the skinny post. We're going to go back to this little press here. This press by this corner throws off Alec Pierce from his landmark just slightly. So again, ideally he wants to stay more on the outside of those numbers, maybe on top of the numbers in general, but he gets knocked off to the inside here, which makes his route a little bit more narrow and kind of gets him off from where Daniel Jones wants to throw this ball, because Jones, he did the advanced work here. I mean, Alec Pierce gave him credit on this throw, I believe, in his press conference earlier this week, where he was talking about this is something that Daniel Jones saw on film, saying that this is something that we can exploit with their defense on this particular call. But because Pierce is a little bit off on his landmark because of that press, typically he'd be maybe like right here coming up. He's a little bit shallow. He's a little bit more inside. Daniel Jones can't throw this ball to Pierce. He has to throw this to a spot, because that spot is what's open. Pierce is not what's open on this play. So what we see from Daniel Jones is he actually throws this ball behind and high to Pierce, because that's where that ball has to go. Look at where this ball is right here. If he throws this any more low, any more inside, it's an interception or it's a pass breakup and the Colts are behind the sticks or in a much worse situation. So he has to throw this ball inside. He has to throw it high, because that's where Pierce was supposed to be if it wasn't for that press disruption by the Cardinals defender. So Pierce and Jones do a great job, especially Jones here, though, throwing it to that location. Pierce gets his head back to the ball, adjusts, makes a great catch, gets inside the 10-yard line, and the Colts are able to score here a couple plays later, and we're going to talk about that play there. But I really want to dive in. I just really want to talk about this play, how special it is from both these two players, where, again, Cardinals are playing good defense. That press disruption does a great job of knocking off what the Colts want to do, but Daniel Jones is confident. He's feeling it right now. He's throwing it to that spot and trusting his wide receiver. Wide receiver makes a play, and the Colts are able to get into a goal-to-go situation. And then when we get into the goal-to-go situation, what is Shane Steichen's favorite play call in the world? Obviously, it is mesh. He loves mesh as much as I do on Madden and College Football 26. He is I have to say he's got to call the most mesh calls in the NFL, but we don't really have a tool that can really break through that. But he loves mesh. We get the little wheel out of the running back. We're going to get the mesh work here from Tyler Warren and Michael Pittman Jr. and the little rail here from Josh Downs. And Daniel Jones does a great job of working through his mesh reads here. He actually sets to Jonathan Taylor to start, because these two guys are kind of selling the man coverage. Now, ultimately, this guy is the one who takes him, so it makes it moot point that you can't go there. So then Daniel Jones works back to Warren, works back to Michael Pittman Jr., sees that the Cardinals are playing it tight, 3-over-2 over the mesh concept, and that's just not going to be available. So then Jones works back to his other read, which is Josh Downs in this rail, like run away from him route at the second level. And it's wide open because these safeties and these outside defenders are so focused on the mesh concept and focused on the wheel that you got Josh Downs isolated in off-man coverage. That's always going to be a win for the Colts, and Josh Downs is able to create that space in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. But great quarterbacking, again, working through his reads, getting where he needs to be. setting to Josh Downs and delivering an accurate ball. Really good stuff. And also, again, this is Shane Steichen's favorite call in the world. He loves mesh more than anything else, maybe more than you and me playing Madden. So we know he's going to use that in the red zone, and he used it quite effectively on that play there to get the Colts a tying touchdown. But now we're going to the game-winning drive for the Colts, the drive that put them ahead late in this game. We're going to get some more cheat motion from Alec Pierce, cheat motion here to create that window on the in-cutting window there. Josh Downs is key to this play because he's going to be clearing out the outside guys here. He's going to be clearing out these guys, getting attention on that crossing route. And with this corner playing more outside leverage, it opens up that window for Alec Pierce over the middle. Now, this is a play call where you're really trusting your quarterback to make a high-level throw because even with everything going right, again, eyes on Downs, eyes on Downs, eyes on Downs, we're getting this gravity from Josh Downs that creates the isolation to Alec Pierce on that in-breaker. You need to trust your quarterback to layer a throw over that to get to Alec Pierce. And this is just a good situation where you have a good play call and you have quarterback play that's at a really high level. Jones steps into this as he's getting hit, layers it over that linebacker. I think that's over the safety actually, and gets it to Alec Pierce for the big gain. Colts are able to get into position to score after that, but fantastic play call, fantastic play design, and an even better throw and catch to get the Colts into goal-to-go situation here later in the drive. But this was ultimately the biggest play of the game for the Colts. This is the play that essentially turned it from the Cardinals' next drive being a drive to try to go win or a drive to go, try to kick a field goal, because the Colts here were able to score a touchdown rather than get 3 on the board, which gave them the lead, which again forced the Cardinals to go for it on that 4th down in the red zone on their ensuing drive that they ultimately didn't get, and the Colts were able to win. But this is a 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8. We all know who the Colts want to go to here. Colts do a really great job of when you go 3-by-1, your best matchup is obviously your slot wide receiver versus the linebacker. And I don't even think this linebacker plays it too poorly. He's playing inside leverage against Josh Downs. He knows that Josh Downs wants to work to the field here. But Josh Downs is just too good of a player. Does a really good job of pacing his route, slowing down his route, getting this defender on his back foot, and then Downs crosses the face, runs away from him, and is able to get that 1st down. Unfortunate, this is probably the play that he got hurt on, but this is how much the Colts trust their slot receiver, how much they trust Josh Downs in these situations, getting him running away from that linebacker, crossing face, and getting that 1st down. And it sets up the goal-to-go situation that ultimately won them the game. And this is the one run play I threw in here because I've been wanting to talk about this play all week. You guys know I get excited over the little things. This is a walk-in touchdown for the Colts. It shouldn't be something so exciting, but for me, I've always wanted a team to throw a toss play or run outside when you're selling the quarterback sneak, because I think especially in today's modern era of football where we have the tush push, we have all these analytics that say how effective QB sneaks are, I think it's even more effective just to show QB sneak and not actually run it. Actually just toss it out to your running back or something, because how do defenses stop that? You have to have 10 guys in the box to stop a QB sneak. And if you think the QB sneak's coming, you're going to have numbers on the outside. So what I love here from the Colts is they get Daniel Jones under center. They motion Tyler Warren behind him. Warren is getting in there like it's going to be a QB sneak. And because of all this action here, I want you guys to focus on this player coming down and especially this defender right here. These are the 2 defenders to watch, because this motion right here into what looks like a QB sneak destroys these 2 defenders right away, one more so than the other. So watch those 2 defenders here as the play starts. So we'll start here with this guy because it's more funny. It's a lot more funny here with that guy. But as the play starts, eyes in the backfield, expecting the QB sneak, and then Michael Pittman Jr. Michael Pittman Jr. just levels him. He's out of the play completely, finishes the block. But even better here, the guy who was covering Michael Pittman Jr., again, he's so focused on this being a sneak. Watch again. This guy gets lit up, and it was just great by Michael Pittman Jr. But watch this corner here. The corner that probably should be filling this run. Look what happens to him because he's expecting the QB sneak. He's expecting just a dive inside, expecting Tyler Warren maybe to get the ball. Watch what his eyes do. Watch what his positioning is on this play and how far out of the play he is. He still doesn't know Jonathan Taylor has the ball. He has no clue that that ball was pitched. His eyes are inside. He's not looking at Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor was walking into the end zone on this play because we're trying to get this linebacker who's playing over the middle somehow noticed it more than the outside corner. But he has no clue that Taylor has this ball. I mean, look where he thinks the whole play got blown up. He has no clue that Taylor's walking in for the game-winning touchdown on this play, which shows, again, just that play design. I think the play design was fantastic here. I've always been a big fan of, like, yes, you can't do it every single time because then defenses will catch on, but every now and then throw in a fake QB sneak and either throw the ball or run the ball out of it because defenses just won't be able to stop that, especially on these gotta-have-it moments like this. Colts are able to walk in for the game-winning touchdown. And that's all she wrote for this game against the Cardinals. But yeah, I think this was just a fun game for the Colts offense. I thought we got a good mixture of big-time throws, a good mixture of really great play calling to get guys open, a good utilization of the weapons the Colts have. And I'm excited to see how this carries forward, obviously, against a Chargers defense that's played well this year, but they are trending in a negative direction while this Colts offense has remained hot. So it'll be interesting to see what the Colts do upcoming against the Chargers, but this Cardinals game was really fun from the Colts offense, especially from a schematic standpoint. As always, I thought Shane Steichen was in his bag. I thought Daniel Jones had a great game, and the Colts moved to 5-1. So very, very fun offensive game for the Colts, especially considering how they started the game.